So apparently military operations have shot down 4 unidentified objects over the U.S. and Canadian airspace. Now, of course, the government is keeping everything hush-hush. However, many are speculating outside of the Chinese spy balloon that some believe that these are extraterrestrials from other planets getting a good look at humanity. Now, I personally find it hard to believe, but my question to you is, do you believe the aliens have visited planet Earth? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Greetings, my kings and queens of the internet. Jay Rhymes here with the Periodic Review. I want to earn your subscription today, so if I do, please consider giving this video a like and a share, crush that red subscribe button, and hit that bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss a content release. You can now send us all your topic ideas, articles, and videos to theperiodicreview@gmail.com. Now let's go ahead and check out this video, and I would love to get your guys' thoughts on it as well.
This morning, questions after more unidentified objects are discovered over U.S. and Canadian airspace, according to a senior administration official.
Now, this is a lot of activity over 9 days, just so you guys know.
Unmanned and traveling near sensitive sites at an altitude of 20,000 feet.
So, specific shape
civilian flight risk.
and height.
Saturday, as it flew over Montana, President Biden gave the order to shoot
It was first seen over Montana before ending up over Lake Huron, which is part of the Great Lakes of Lake Michigan.
We have been more closely scrutinizing our airspace at these altitudes, including enhancing our radar, which may at least partly explain the increase in objects that we've detected over the past week.
This latest air defense operation coming just 24 hours.
Just watching these jets fly is actually really cool.
Over Canada. U.S. and Canadian officials ordering it shot down.
It represented a reasonable threat to civilian aircraft. Canadian and American fighter jets were scrambled, and an American F-22 successfully shot down the object.
Okay.
And that incident coming just one day after another unidentified object.
So interesting. There's a lot over near Alaska.
3 incidents in less than a week since that Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the Carolina coast. But a senior U.S. official
Isn't that crazy?
3 are different from that spy balloon.
And they've been following the spy balloon for a week before they shot it down. Very strange.
It doesn't mean that they are coming from another country. It doesn't even mean that there are more of them. We're just looking for them, and so we're finding more of them.
An intensive search effort is now
I'm just looking for them. That's funny.
Navy planes and helicopters to recover and analyze those objects they find. Tanya?
Watch breaking news.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see like what they find after they find all the wreckage, which apparently nobody has yet, which is very, very strange. Now, I find it odd that the military has been tracking that Chinese spy balloon. They were following it for about a week before it was brought down over U.S. airspace. Now, there have been 4 unidentified objects that were shot down. So one of the latest was shot down over, like it was saying, over Lake Huron, which is one of the eastern portions of Lake Michigan. Now, this object was the shape of an octagon. No word if these objects were man-made or not. Now, do you believe the Earth has been visited by aliens in the past or present? Now, when you watch things like Ancient Aliens, it's actually one of my favorite entertainment, non-documentary, kind of documentary, not really sort of, shows, because I find it very, very interesting that these individuals are finding a lot of interesting patterns, because as humans, we find patterns in anything that we look at. We look for things that look similar to ourselves, or things that are happening in our lives, past, present, and possibly in the future. Like for instance, like finding wristbands on different carvings, and they're calling them watches, finding figures with large bulbous heads and large eyes and saying, see, these are basically historical documents documenting extraterrestrials, returning to Earth, or the gods, as they call it. I don't know if you guys have, what was it called? Chariot of the Gods or something like that. Fire of the Gods, whatever that book is called. They actually made it into a film, which was really interesting. Now, I guess after the stuff that I've seen, like I've watched Ancient Aliens, I've done some research, I've listened to a lot of interviews from DeLong from Blink-182, which is really interesting. He's kind of like the poster boy right now for ufology, which I think it was Dan Aykroyd before, and he's kind of gotten older and kind of past his point as far as like being relevant. So it's now kind of this pop punk rock star to kind of take over. I've also listened to interviews from different individuals who have had supposed experiences. both, people who have been in the military, those that were, on different projects, supposedly in Area 51 and stuff. And I think their testimonies are very compelling, and I think they're very, very interesting. But unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of physical evidence. We don't have physical evidence of these, different parts of these crafts and like what the chemicals and the different materials are made of. We don't have biological evidence of these supposed, gray aliens. We don't have a lot of physical evidence. We got a lot of supposed eyewitnesses, which a lot of them have been debunked. Vast majority of them have debunked. All these different very blurry like orbs and like lights and very strange shapes in the sky, which of course you never get a clear one for whatever reason. Other orbs and stuff like that, like flying around military places. There was one that I thought was really interesting, where an individual, I think it was a weather person, who was following like 3 or 4 different supposed objects, like flying over one of the Great Lakes, and followed it on radar. It was like corroborated with eyewitnesses. It was just a lot of interesting things going on out there. Whether these things happened or not, I honestly don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of physical evidence as far as like science is concerned to really dictate one way or the other. I would probably say no at this point until we have a lot more evidence out there. I just don't think eyewitnesses, especially individuals who have had memories come back to them after like hypnosis and stuff like that. I just feel like there's just a lot of pseudoscience within it. I just don't think we've been visited by aliens as of yet. Now, as far as like, let's say for instance, these unidentified flying objects, these unidentified aerial phenomena, like what are these things? Now, more than likely, probably the simplest answer is they're probably government drones. They're probably spy drones from other countries, and they just go so fast, because if you look at some of these drones and their speed, these like racing drones, like their speed from like 0 to as fast as they can go is like, it seems like absolutely crazy how fast they can go and how they can increase and decrease in their altitude and things like that. And I mean, it's probably these are just glorified drones more than likely, at the very least. And if our government is like, oh, we don't understand the physics of these, and these are things that are going on, it's quite possible maybe somebody else has some better technology than us. That's definitely a possibility, and I think those are probably better answer to these UFOs and UAPs rather than these are extraterrestrials from another planet. And hopefully one day we will find out if there is life on other planets. We'll find fungi and bacteria like on different planets. Maybe we'll eventually have different rovers and stuff end up in galaxies far, far away. Maybe we'll even colonize some of these different planets that are in the Goldilocks zone and can actually harness human life. I mean, the sky's the limits. Who knows where we're going to be in 100,000 years, 10,000 years. It's really anybody's guess where we're going to be. But hey, don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. All of my resources and links are in the video's description. And from my family to yours, good night.